Hello and welcome back to another video about Honkai Impact. Today we are going to try and finish chapter 2 of the Elysian, and yeah, at the moment we are at a bit under half of the stages done. So I think it's not impossible to finish it today. So yeah, again, like always, this parts where I need to do exploration or a few stages without any story, I will skip. And yeah, I see you as soon as I finish that. Hi Klein, here you are. Elysian, what is it? And I just stopped by for a visit. Sorry, I've got a lot of work to do. Oh, I never saw you take even a minute off for a break. Are you afraid Mobius might see it and cut your pay? Don't worry, I think she understands. After all, wanting to chat with me is just natural. And we were so close back then. Every time I left the lab, I pinched your cute little face. Oh, I just couldn't help it. Gods are naturally attracted to cute things. I don't remember that. Oh, right, that was the other you. I don't quite understand how elves work, but maybe we can recreate the scenario and awaken these memories in you. Recreate the scenario? Huh? Don't come any closer. Please don't. Understandable. I would say Sia has definitely a point. And about what? According to what you said, the faith in flame chasers is what keeps the serpent afloat. Did you know of their existence before coming here? Of course, the legendary 13 have always been the guarantee of Project Stigma. It's not completely accurate, but you can think of World Serpent as a religious organization to understand this better. Project Stigma is the doctrine, but it's not enough. World Serpent needed a god, especially in its early days. That's why it can only be led by flame chasers. Sounds like it doesn't matter who sits on the throne as long as it's a flame chaser. Correct again. For most people, the origin of their faith is simple, decisive and world-changing power. Maybe in a certain bubble universe it's led by your friend Hua. It might have a different name through, like World Bird. As you said, Project Stigma is what the members believe in, but the agents I saw are more like enforcers than believers. That's what Grey Serpent wants. In his words, no one is afraid to see the sunrise. There's no room for favor if you are absolute confident in your faith. The ones you saw are the most pious followers of the plan. Their motives may vary, but they share the same desire. And you too? Me? I told you, I'm just like any new member, except I know a bit more. I never come back if not for the paycheck. In other words, you are actually the founder of World Serpent. Huh, Leopard, it's been a while since you joined us. How come you just found out? They don't trust you and try to distance themselves from you? Or you're just an outsider no matter where you go? Mobius, if you're trying to play mind games with me, I suggest you drop it. World Serpent's trust means nothing to me. But you, the organization you founded, now follows the leader of someone else, obeys his will. I wonder how that makes you feel. How I feel? I don't care. What Thornton's throne can belong to anyone. Kevin, May, or even you. It matters not. No matter who is the leader, they can change course. And to be exact, World Serpent was founded by Grey Serpent. I believe he is also one of your creations. That's right, but make no mistake. People take me for the founder only because Grey Serpent followed my will voluntarily. Your will, indeed. Kevin said you created the first Stigma prototype. Ah, so he did tell you. There goes another opportunity for me to act modest. But just as Kevin told you, I only created the prototype. As for the Stigmata you know in Project Stigma, Dr. May and I made them together. Dr. May. If she got on board with Project Stigma earlier, maybe we have seen a totally different ending. Mobius, Project Stigma. Something feels wrong. If she came up with Project Stigma and didn't die in the previous era, why is Kevin implementing the plan now instead of her? Lisa. If you can, please don't disrupt me again with Klein's business. You've said it yourself, that's someone else. I don't know much about what she went through, nor am I interested. Oh, is that so? I thought such an important matter, Mobius really... The doctor, she wouldn't mind something like this. Really? She said nothing when she named you? The name Klein used to belong to a human. I know. She was the doctor's assistant. I saw her records in the database. So you already know? That makes things easier. Come, Klein. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. I help you awaken past memories. Don't waste your time, Elysian. I am me. The doctor didn't implant anyone's memory in me. The Klein you wish to find is no more. Alright. I guess I have to give up now. But what you said to me, don't tell Mobius, alright? Sorry. I don't understand. Why do you have to say sorry whenever you see me? I don't remember you ever mistreating me. You don't have to know the cause and effects of the past, Klein. I had the opportunity to save you, but I forfeited it, and that constituted bad karma for me. Sorry, I don't get it. Can you please translate this into language I can understand? Yeah. He didn't save the real Klein, and that's why he feels sorry every time. We meet again, Herrscher Lady. Let me make it clear, I'm not interested in any of your experiments. If you don't wish to waste your time, you better not bring that up. Alright. Looks like I came on too strong and left a bad impression. Just don't take me for a mad scientist, alright? I only wish to do something interesting with you. It doesn't necessarily involve the lab. If you like, we can start with things you're interested in and come to it gradually. I'm afraid I didn't make myself clear enough. Elaborate. I don't suppose you're here for tea and flowers, right? Do I look like a person with lots of time to kill? Before, I did take you for such a person. Even if a creator tries hard to avoid it, there are usually some similarities between them and their creations. But you, at least when it comes to personality, I can't see any similarities between you and your creations. What? Client took you on a date to appreciate flowers in the realm? I meant Grey Serpent. Regardless of his bite and cruelty, he's a gentleman most of the time. Oh, I see. It took you long enough to get to the point. Gentleman, I guess he eventually found his style. You seem glad. I thought you wouldn't care. I thought so too. After all, unlike Klein, Grey Serpent was just a byproduct of testing a new technology. After validating the tech, I tossed him into the waste pool. But the next day when I walked past, I found it was alive and had self-awareness. Can you believe it? With over 80% of its organic structure corrupted, it stayed alive and evolved. It was both ugly and beautiful. I never saw anything like it. In its solid eyes, I saw an iron will striving for survival. That was beauty beyond words, something I never seen in a human. So I decided to give it a chance, to live on. I wanted to see if it could transform itself with its own strength and broaden the definition of life. Of course, I wasn't going to intervene, whatever it succeeded or not. It had infinite possibilities, and I was in a position to plot its future course. You don't seem to take responsibility for your creations. Isn't that always the case with humankind? Abandoned after birth, left alone to face this world. That has always been the norm for humanity, without exception. Yeah, more or less. She's not completely wrong. In Red Serpent, I saw some fights about 12th Herrscher of the previous era. She seemed to have existed in a different form than the others, more like a virus with self-awareness. I can't tell you more, that's everything I know. But if I remember correctly, Mobius still through research on the 12th Herrscher. I believe her research would have revealed more than that, or you weren't there back then? You're lucky, test subject. If Dr. Mobius heard this, there would be consequences. She might think you're provoking her on purpose. Huh? Your research on the 12th Herrscher ended in failure. She did her best, turning humanity into another life form like the 12th Herrscher to ensure its survival. That used to be her vision, but it was never realized. For most people, I believe this was actually good news. This vision of hers had gone far beyond what can be considered sane. Even Project Stigma wasn't accepted. It's not hard to imagine how people would react to this plan. Test subject, in your eyes, am I human? What about you? Do you consider yourself human? Thought so. Many of the doctor's ideas are considered crazy by others. Many think he doesn't even care about humanity's form of existence, but these people, they don't even know how to define human. The previous era, was Mobius such a passionate surgeon? Seems like I triggered some unpleasant memories. No matter what she asks of you, just say no. Even if you think yes is the best answer at the moment, you've got to say no. Dr. Mobius may set you up. Seems like something happened between you two. Yes, the others would warn you about her too, but I might be more convincing. Any examples? Too many of them, I don't know where to start. Dr. Mobius has her merits, of course. She values fairness and always tries everything on herself before she uses it on others. But there's something she's failed to grasp. The same thing may have different effects on different individuals. The snake can survive the long night, but without a torch, humanity can only be devoured by despair and the darkness. You're talking about her research on the 12th Herrscher? Right, even though her research on Herrschers was viewed with some suspicion all along. At that time, we didn't know. She didn't care about the form in which humanity would subsist. This caused certain disputes, and you know, at a time like that, dispute meant destruction. If humanity's enemy didn't show up again, maybe we would have destroyed civilization ourselves. Yeah. When everyone already is at their end, the smallest conflict can cause an explosion. I never thought you'd be the nostalgic type. Oh, Labrat, seems you've forgotten everything I taught you. It's better to keep rumors to yourself, or you only make a fool of yourself. Is that so? I overheard matters concerning Klein. You said the reason you created her was different from a certain, and it finally hit me. It's more than creating Klein. You wanted her to be reborn. Overheard, Labrat. You have a way of words. I'm surprised that you probe into my past, but I'm not being nostalgic. After all, Klein had become the 10th Herrscher. Developing an elf based on her Herrscher should be perfectly reasonable. And how unfortunate. If she was still alive back then, her specific importance may have been greater. The real Klein was a manifestation of the 10th Herrscher. Why are you giving me that look? Oh, I see, you don't know about this yet. I overestimated you just now. You and Kalpas both lost someone close to you to the 10th Herrscher, yet you two couldn't have reacted more differently. Do you know what I think? No, please elaborate. About Klein's death, you aren't as pathetic as you appear to be. Only the measures you took were different from those of Kalpas. Kalpas chose revenge, and you wanted to save Klein. Enough. You talk too much, and I don't need a psychiatrist. Kalpas, he's a fool, a beast. Venting anger pointlessly like him. It's an insult to my intelligence. But indeed, if they didn't go ahead and kill Klein, I might have found a way to change her back into human. So, who killed Klein? Who knows? They told me it was you, but would you buy it? That naive doctor chose killing over saving. This lie sound plausible to you in the least? Not to mention capturing the 10th Herrscher alive under the circumstances would have benefited our side greatly. He had no sensible reason to do so. They clearly were trying to hide the truth of what happened in the time that I wasn't able to witness. They were afraid that I accept revenge on them madly like Kalpas, imbecile beyond saving. Was there some kind of misunderstanding between you and Klein, Sue? Before she appeared, I rarely saw you seeking out others to chat. Sue muttered under his breath and then let out a long sigh, unusual for him. Bad karma, thought the rehearse. Bad karma? Could it be? Sue, you once told me that psychic mantises specialized in countering enemies who can think. The moths, they didn't really fool Mobius, did they? Was the real Klein killed by... Feel free to believe that, visitor. Because failing to save someone when you have the opportunity isn't any different. No, the one who killed Klein wasn't him. When Klein killed Mobius, I didn't know she had already had become a manifestation of the 10th Herrscher. When she killed Mobius? Was that still the human Klein? You never mentioned this to me before. I understand. Even though Mobius was the ability to revive herself after death, it apparently takes time. It's no wonder that even she wasn't clear what happened to Klein, and besides... That's right, I was the one who witnessed it. I only bring that up to serve as evidence. I went to Mobius' lab to deal with another matter, but when I got there, she was already lying in a pool of blood. And Klein had just stepped away from her body. At that time, I didn't know her motive for killing Mobius. Among the moths, there were more than a few who couldn't tolerate Mobius' continued existence, but Klein was not one of them. She was one of the few who could actually understand Mobius. But by then, she was probably already a puppet of Honkai. Yes, but I didn't find that out till later. At that moment, I didn't want to act rashly, could only restrain Klein from committing more evil acts. That is to say, you were more than a witness. That's why I feel guilty about what happened to Klein. After becoming a Herrscher, Klein's mind was exceptionally weak. In an instant, I was able to prevent her from taking any more action. And just as I was about to check Mobius' condition, her corpse underwent an unusual change. A strange substances, like a physical manifestation of a shadow, sprayed out of her body. Before I could react, it had engulfed Klein's Herrscher core. It was only then that I knew the full extent of Mobius' power. To come back from the dead, she devoured her own assistant? Yes, to revive herself that way, Mobius needed enough energy. I believe it wasn't a conscious decision, but she instinctively swallowed up whomever was closest. It was an ability that came from Honkai, so the Herrscher core was undoubtedly like a nutrition for her. If I hadn't been suppressing Klein at that time, using Mobius' method, she might have had a chance to become human again. But in that case, it might have been Mobius who ended up dead. Or you. I know, but this was still an act of evil. Visitor, please don't bring up what I've told you today with Mobius or Klein. This is my own bad karma, there's no need to bring them into it. In my opinion, you are not to blame for this, Sue. If you weren't there, the results may have been even more disastrous. In the end, humans are powerless and heaven decides all. I know that much. But this does not exonerate me from what I've done. That's hard to hear. So in the end, not Sue killed Mobius and not Sue killed Klein, but Mobius killed Klein. Okay. Grey Serpent is also a creation of Mobius, but you seem drastically different. Grey Serpent was the first artificial life form of self-awareness created by the Doctor. As the first, he was bound to have some flaws. Flaws? I don't know the specifics, I was created a lot later than him. But the Doctor once said some human instincts were surprisingly amplified in Grey Serpent. Like survival instincts? I don't know, it's not in the database. He is not a member of the lab and rarely shows up, so I have no chance to observe him. Well, Klein, do you have similar flaws? No. The doctor tried to replicate the accident that brought out these traits in Grey Serpent, but they were strange results. So the doctor did nothing to me. But maybe that's why I seem less human than Grey Serpent. Huh? Each time he returned to the lab, he seemed different, more human. But something like this never occurred for me. Maybe it's because you were already human when you were created. Among all the flame chasers I've met, you seem to be the only psychic type. Or you, maybe. Huh? Truth is conditional. If you met all the flame chasers, you find there are more than just me. Even so, there aren't many psychic type flame chasers in general. Indeed. Why? Technical issues, or is there something special about you? Both. As you can see, we made no breakthrough in the psychic world until the demise of our civilization. Scalpels couldn't reveal the secrets of the mind, and that's why I choose the way of body in the first place. Which is to say, psychic mantis soldiers were more like an accident. Yes, although it wasn't hard to observe brain activity, even Dr. Mobius had given up her research on the topic. As for why, maybe it was the fact that we didn't prove ourselves very useful against Honkai, unlike other mantis soldiers. Useful? Maybe psychic mantis soldier has the ability to underroot on or manipulate someone else's mind. It can be a deciding factor when fighting our own kind. A moment of hesitation can be the difference between life and death. But when facing Honkai beasts or other non-human enemies, we were unable to contribute to the fight in a meaningful way. Sounds like engaging enemies head-on wasn't your strong suit. Indeed, when the war wasn't at its height, we were usually operating at the back line, save for a handful of mutants. There was a psychic mantis who awakened the power of psychokinesis. She'd be a flame chaser if not for the Dasher. Well, I suppose you're not just an ordinary mantis either, are you? No, but my mutation was not worth mentioning compared to the ability to face Honkai head-on. Maybe if I went into the surgery with the resolve to die for the cause, the results might have been very different. But if that were the case, perhaps it would have been my cold body that was there in an accident caused by Mobius. Just another example of how casualty works in mysterious ways. Even if civilization has perished, you don't die completely. This is how incredible resilient your life force is, according to Sue. This is the first time I heard him speak so highly of anyone. Thought I hate his preachiness, I must admit. He sees everything more precisely and prudently than the other world crowd. A pity that his understanding of me is merely an opinion. A snake's never been a creature to scramble to death. What's the fuss about? No, I can totally relate to him. If I had ever seen someone rise from the dead, I would also. Okay, I do know a person who could do something similar. No, I know too. Maybe 3. Enough. Is this fun to you? Do you want us undeads to have a get-together? No, I only want to find in what ways your differences are unlike. Replacing, reconstructing, restoring. Though I'm not capable of these, I at least understand the principles behind them. But you, the others you are resurrection is more like an inexplicable miracle. A miracle? You have a point. This is the side effect that the metamorph surgery had on me. Even I don't know how it reproduces it in others. But to a snake, shedding a decaying skin to start over is part of its life. Do you understand now? The side effects of the metamorph surgery are not inherently adverse. I remember you once said you shrunk due to the metamorph surgery side effect. I assume you didn't lie to me that time, which means the metamorph surgery gave you the ability to resurrection, but not without a price. Every time you come back from the dead, your body degenerates, you become younger, or in other words, smaller. You're quite a thinker, Labbred. From whom did you hear about my deaths? Indeed, my resurrection is not unlike snake molting. Snake molting? I don't think it's an accurate analogy. As far as I know, snake molting represents the growth of a snake. That is, each molt brings it closer to the end of its life. But you, Mobius, your snake molting at each death brings you closer to the start of your life. This is a decisive difference. I heard you one of the founding members of the Morphs. Even in the end times, I doubt they let a child join them. So, Mobius, how many times have you died to become who you are now? Is this the question you wanted to ask? If so, then you can leave with your purely question. I'm not interested in answering. Goodbye. Return. I think my presumption is correct. Mobius resurrections have a limit. However, if this is really the case, why do the other flame chasers believe she's actually immortal? Well, the question is also the start. Yeah, she gets closer to the start of her life. But at some point you can't get any younger. So are you, if you want to see it that way, is the time before you got born not the exact same as the time after you die? That means the analogy she used is not really wrong in the end. What's wrong? I can't help envying you whenever I lay my eyes on you. Envy me for what? You're a younger and tender girl, and in a few years you turn into a graceful, dignified lady. From a fresh new bud to full blossom, your life's beauty comes in different colors and forms. But I, on the other hand, have lost the right to change and can only stay forever at this dazzling moment. Just a joke. But my envy is real. It's a matter of mentality. You long for possibilities once you used to the monotonous beauty. And once in a while I fantasize what I would look like if I had a chance to grow older. Even reverse growth like Mobius experiences sound good. Wait, you said reverse growth? I remember Mori saying she didn't turn into a kid on purpose. A lab accident? Ah, so you're more interested in her than me? That's heartbreaking. I'm more interested in you, alright? Just tell me about Mobius. Alright, I was just teasing you. It's normal for anyone who sees her to be interested. Even I nagged her for a long time for the answer. After all, it was jaw-dropping to see a colleague turned into a teenage girl in just a few days. A teenage girl, not a small kid? She just looked a few years younger back then. She always wore a lab coat and it was hard to tell the change. But you noticed. Clothes and makeup can change how young or old you look, but the observant Elysian won't fall for that trick. Besides, her transformation didn't stop there. Even the most ignorant eyes could tell the difference after she turned into the kid she is now. They asked her what had happened, but she just told them all off. Could it be her ego? We shared the same thought. I guess you can ask her in person if it's biting you. She likes smart brains and you definitely get your answer. Yeah, I'm not sure if she gives out the answer that quickly, since it seems more like something she's not so happy about. You said you wouldn't keep the truth about the past from me anymore. That depends on how you define truth. I need to know more about the moths, the flame chaser, and especially Mobius. You rarely speak of her, and it's the same with the others. The most they say is I should stay away from her. As a group, you're unbelievably indifferent to each other. Friendliness is a luxury in a world that to be erased by Honkai. I think you know that too. Or in your age, Honkai is something you can easily cope with by playing house, maybe? I didn't experience your age. I find it hard to emphasize. But Kevin, you're not the only one who's lost something you hold dear in the war against Honkai. Never mind. This is not what I came here for. I wish to know more about Mobius, especially about her life and death, from other flame chasers. From the other chasers. Mobius can never die a real death. I believe the others gave you exactly the same answer. And that's everything I can tell you too. Try not to stare at me without saying anything. It's distracting me from my work. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's alright, you already did. From the moment you came to Elysian realm, I don't mind. Just ask me if you have any questions and don't wait until I finish my work, because that might take a very long time. Alright. Mobius, I meant the one I met in the realm, told me she was the real Mobius. Is there a problem with that? But every flame chaser in the Elysian realm is supposed to be a sim, right? Is there a problem with that? I know you didn't do this on purpose, but the way you speak does remind me of Mobius' influence on you. Being a sim and calling herself the real deal when everyone believes Mobius is alive, isn't this contradictory? It sounds just fine to me. Be it appearance, memory, personality, behavior mode, or thinking pattern, the sim you've seen is no different than the Dr. Mobius I'm used to know. And the 50,000 years spent in the Elysian realm didn't bring any changes to her. So from the observation data, she can of course call herself the real Mobius, and I have no problem with that. Observation data, Klein, the way you think, it's not very typical of humans. But Klein, the only thing that doesn't change in the world is change itself. 50,000 years left no mark on her. That's something suspicious to begin with. Kevin. Alright, I admit there are certain unique individuals among flame chasers. Well, Klein, I concede for now that the real Mobius is still alive. But if one day she shows up here, do you still believe Sam is the real Mobius? I don't understand what you're talking about. Why deny one for the sake of another? There's no necessary connection between the two. They can both be the real Mobius, or the other way around. The bottom line is there's no clear definition for the real Mobius, and everything you say is subjectively. In certain circumstances you may even reach the conclusion that you're the real Mobius, which is normal as well. But if you're just asking for my opinion, I can only say I don't feel like wasting my time on this. Dr. Mobius has run into this paradox many times, but every time she managed to make the option she desired the one and only possibility. Yeah, it's not wrong, but yeah. I don't think the real Mobius is in this form still alive. So in the sim maybe didn't change, but even Kevin changed. From what we have seen up to now, the Kevin here, the sim version, is a lot more talkative and open about talking, and I would even say a bit warmer than the Kevin outside of the Elysian realm. Ah, isn't this right, May, Lady Barcy? What, you finally picked up some workplace etiquette and come to visit your senior? I've some questions for you. Still the same old May. You won't even bother to act nice. What is it this time? You said you never saw Mobius in reality, but that could mean a lot of different things. A few months ago, no one in Rothsorben had seen Kevin, and it might be the same situation for Mobius. So, is there any record about Mobius' death in the Rothsorben database? Death record? Impossible. I told you, flame chasers were worshipped as gods in Rothsorben. Anything that touches them reads like myths and legends. From the start, records about them are not to help you understand them better, but to nourish fear and devotion. Any examples? Let me think. Sakura is a good one. Before coming here, anything I read about her was pretty much like this. The Shadow Walker with a dual blade forged by gods took a path of betrayal and so sundered her fate in the old world. I'm not 100% sure about the words, but it was something like that. Before seeing these flame chasers with your own eyes, you won't get anything valuable from pretentious scripts. Anyway, why are you suddenly asking me this? What you're interested in where Mobius had ended up? I just want to find out if she survived. Why don't you simply ask her? I don't want too much contact between you two, but for this question, only she can give you the best answer. Oh, wait. I remember Gray Serpent said something about Mobius. He said when he was looking for surviving flame chasers as the leader of World Serpent, Mobius came to his mind first. But of course you know it's Kevin who sits on the throne now. I don't know what happened, but if Mobius wasn't a survivor, Grey Serpent wouldn't even consider her. Oh, dear Leopard, you came to me again. It's alright, Herrscher lady, you won't be the first one playing hard to get. They say they're not interested, but they're curious as hell. I've seen the type. Save your breath, Mobius. You're full of lies, and I doubt there would be anyone willing to participate. Lies? Dear lady, have you mistaken me for Elysia? Is that so? Well, do you have anything to explain about I am the real Mobius? Isn't it obvious? I don't see any need for explanation. How long do you plan to keep lying about it? There can't be any real flame chasers in the realm. You're just a sim like the others. I heard you, so how does that contradict what I said? If you're truly immortal like the others believe, the real you should be still out there. You're making the same mistake again. Who told you a sim can't be the real Mobius? You're just denying the truth. What, you finally realized? Yes, there's a possibility that can be considered a contradiction. The way you show up in the realm is different from other flame chasers. To some extent, you're just like a successor. There might be some reason that prevented you from creating a sim and you had to leave a part of your sentience here. This explains why Grey Serpent didn't insist on making you the leader of World Serpent. Because that would undermine the integrity of the Elysian realm. Sorry lady, I have to interrupt. What exactly is going on in your crazy little brain? I'm thinking there might still be another Mobius somewhere in the real world, only no one has ever seen her. Maybe her body is kept at a secret place to maintain the existence of you, Sim in the realm. If this is the case, then everything can be explained. Herrscher lady, can you stop making absurd guesses? I'm beginning to pity you already. Be it Grey Serpent or Klein, they know very little about me, so don't rely on what they say. As I said before, before your eyes is the real Mobius. You can call it a lie, but you never find evidence to prove your suspicion, so it has to be the truth. Visitor, it seems you've been particularly interested in matters related to Mobius lately. Well, of the flame chasers I've encountered, she's the one of whom I have the least understanding. I recommend you keep your distance from her. The serpent's shadow has been watching you. You might end up in danger in the course of your investigation. But you won't stop me, right? Of course not. I help you to the best of my ability and answer your questions, but I let you make your own decisions. Thank you. If the other flame chasers were as helpful as you, this journey would be over a lot sooner. But in that case, they wouldn't be themselves. That's true. The way each of them answers my questions reflects their own personality and viewpoint. It also gives me insights about the morph's current situation. But I do have a question I want to ask you. It's about Mobius' life research. You and Hua both mentioned the incident Mobius caused at the first institute. Was it related to her research on life? Good question, but this is not a memory that is pleasant to recall. You are already aware of Mobius' ability to resurrect herself. That was gained after her mental surgery. Ever since she died on the operation table, regained a heartbeat many hours later, the line between life and death has been blurred for her. But it seems she wasn't satisfied with this. Whatever it was, experimenting on herself, observing how other mantises' abilities affected her, or even provoking Carpers, she was constantly testing her own limits. And in that end, she discovered the method to activate active Honkai reaction. Active Honkai reaction? After ridding herself of the limitations of the metamorph surgery, she abandoned her human body and tried to fully assimilate her Honkai beast. Before the incident at the first institute, it was called Metamorph Overlord and was considered a line mantises could not cross. When the alarm went off, I went to Muri's lab immediately, but she wasn't there. In her place was a huge snake lying in the shadows, giving off an airy green glow. My mantis instincts allowed me to understand the situation immediately. I executed a psychic attack on her. On the snake? on the snake-like entity. You could say whatever you call it, it was a being that should never exist in this world. Could it be that Mobius? That's right, Mobius entered that form after undergoing an active Honkai reaction. She had completely shed her humanity. In that state, Mobius was complete out of control. I'm afraid she would have been a problem even for Kalbas. But fortunately, no matter which form she took, she was still Mobius, so I could still use psychic interference on her. That karma real, I have the ability to use psychic interference to turn enemies' attacks against them and control their movement. Using this method, I was able to temporarily suppress Mobius, but was unable to defeat her. For a long time, neither of us could get the upper hand. It became a contest of endurance. And then Hua rushed in after hearing the alarm. She accidentally broke the stalemate. I didn't have time to reverse the psychic attack, which soon rendered her unconscious. My attack waved for a moment, and Mobius took opportunity to inflict a damaging blow. I could barely continue to fight, but I needed to stop her, or at least make her return to human form, so I used the last of my strength to stop her. Before it was down, I judged that her strength was nearly exhausted. So I didn't see what happened next, but apparently Sakura saved my life. She delivered the final blow to Mobius, but did not kill her. A level-headed move. That's what I know about the incident at the First Institute. So that's how it happened. Thank you. So he is willing to forgive and forget. Seems like he's unwilling to share the method used. What's happened in the end? Yeah, and no. What has Raven and Sakura about the Elysian? Alright, until next time then. Goodbye, Miss Chiawa. You seem to be on good terms with Sakura. Sort of. She likes to hear the stories of the kids from me. If Sora and the others could come here, Sakura would definitely like them. I didn't know Sakura had such a soft spot. You don't know? She had a baby sister and they only had each other. When she created her sim, her sister was about Sora's age. I did hear talking about her family, but not the details. At least she still talks about her sister every once in a while. If she gets to know what truly happened, there would be no one less person here with whom we can have a normal conversation. Have you heard about the pressure of corruption from the previous era? I read about it in the World Serpent database, but that's all. Raven shrugged and felt there was no need to continue on that topic. Was it Sakura's sister? I guess you can say that. Sakura's death also had a lot to do with it. The only family she had left, I can imagine that. Oh, right. Never bring it up in front of Sakura. I wouldn't be able to help you if something happens. I know, someone already reminded me not to talk about her ending to her. I mean every one of them, not just Sakura. Try not to bring up anything that happened in reality. Even if they ask, you better stay silent or play dumb. Is that necessary? I thought the same before, but I learned a harsh lesson about that. Before there was some kind of order in the Elysian realm. But after Jekyll came, it became a rather dangerous place. Who knows what she did? Those who took the trial after her, a lot of them went missing. You know what I mean. Jekyll was here before? Yeah, anything odd about that? She's one of the World Serpent Ancients too. But it's natural that you don't know. You wouldn't even know I was here if I didn't tell you. Indeed. Don't talk about your experience in the realm. It's one of the unwritten rules in World Serpent. It's not strictly forbidden, but if you talk, maybe someone would feel they were treated unfairly and come up with here to complain. No one knows how this would affect the Sims, but keeping it a secret brings the least trouble for everyone. Flame chasers might be worshipped, but they're just like us. I can understand the secrecy. That's probably one of the reasons too. Anyway, just try to keep it to yourself. Right. Which means the successors can indeed influence the Flame Chaser's sim in some ways. The harsh lesson Raven mentioned and Checker. Wait, I remember Hua said something similar before. Yeah. I think when we freed Kevin with Bonya from the Sea of Kanta, there was the part of the awakening of the 12th Herrscher, the Herrscher of Corruption. And if I remember correctly, that was that her sister got that they managed to seal her into some computer server, but before that she activated the rockets or missiles and destroyed the last cities, and that Sakura also died, I think, in the end, through her sister. Sakura, you once mentioned the enemies you faced, including humans. Only for a time. Why have you suddenly taken interest in it? Sorry, I'm not implying anything. I'm just curious about the rumors about you. About forget-me-nots? Forget-me-nots? No, I'm curious about, do these humans include flame chasers? Flame chasers? Of course not. What gave you this idea? We may have taken different sides, but ever since we took on this title, we've done nothing that goes against the definition of heroism. Hero. This is mostly a subjective word. I try to use my own judgment. I came to you because many people brought up an incident. It occurred at the first institute and you were there. I learned the course of events from Sue, but even he doesn't know how it ended. I wasn't really there, I just happened to be there. Any other mantis could have ended that incident, because Sue had succeeded in stopping Mobius. But according to him, Mobius still had strength left when he fell. He wasn't wrong, but that strength only kept her going for a few more seconds. By the time I got there, a gigantic sardine monster had almost taken up my field of view. Logically speaking, it's nearly impossible for Honkai beasts to appear in places such as the First Institute, but I didn't have the time to think. I've never seen something like that before, but somehow it evoked a sense of danger that could be described as legendary. That's a strange way to put it. It's the most accurate description I can think of. It's less of a fear caused by a beast, but more of a fear inside you that was suddenly awakened. The nightmares hunting you came true, the ghosts you believed in as a kid appeared, something like that. So true, I didn't know what she wanted to do to that peacock. I threw my blade and tested her anyway. It was a light slash that allowed me to let it do it. I was surprised that it actually worked. She was at the end of her rope. Yes. It took a long time for me to realize she was Mobius. I see. Thank you, Sakura. Wait, did you mention a peacock? Did I? It was just a slip of the tongue. So, probably doesn't want that form of his to be known. So Sue can transform in a peacock. Interesting. Well, I'm not sure if you kept this memory. You told me that to avoid unpredictable consequences, you kept Sugara from the truth. Yes, in the hash of corruption invasion, the real Sakura made a choice none of us foresaw. I might have made the same choice if I were in her shoes, but for the morphs back then, her choice meant betrayal. Betrayal, hua, so this is what you meant by the hard lesson, right? No, that's something that already happened in reality. What I'm trying to avoid is the Sims or flame chasers undergo unpredictable changes under the influence of successors. Sounds like it has happened before I came here. Yes. So who is it? Dr. Mobius. Flame chasers had more or less some ideas about their endings and come to big correlation with it, including Dr. Mobius. But after learning something about the outside world, she became visibly irritated. Wait, something about the outside world? As far as I know, the name Mobius never showed up in the real world. And that's exactly the problem. No one knows her mantis better than herself. She couldn't have died in reality, but why was her name never heard? Even a brilliant mind like Dr. Mobius can be trapped by her own curiosity. Curiosity, she looks like someone who would do something about it. The problem is, no one knows what she did. At the beginning, she only seemed anxious, and when I realized it, she was already planning something. And her anxiousness grew into something like fancy, the kind she showed in her previous experiments. But it's impossible for her to influence reality in any way. It's too early to tell now. In her research, she has demonstrated the ability to redefine what's possible. And I'm not sure if it's connected to her plan, but the situation did arise after that. Some successors went missing for no reason. Missing? Yes, they didn't pass the trial or linger in the realm. No one knows where they went. If there is indeed a connection, I'm afraid she has fundamentally changed the way the realm works, and it's dangerous. Kevin told me not long ago a successor sensed something wrong with Dr. Mobius, left the realm abruptly. Maybe she saw the underlying dangers. Someone who left the realm not long ago. That would be... Raven? What would be the only one I could imagine right now? It appears that no flame chaser qualifies as a non-combatant in strict terms. They may be more accomplished in other fields, but when it comes to fighting, even the worst of them shows formidable strength. Eden, Sue, and you, Mobius, are no exceptions. Huh? Yasha lady, what are you talking about? I don't even have a weapon. Do I look like I can fight? Come on, I'm just an average researcher. I never set foot on a battlefield, to be honest. A researcher who can subdue Hua and Su simultaneously, then the previous era Honkai is less dangerous than I thought. Alright, Maurice, can we stop feeling each other out? I've gained knowledge of the special form unique to mantises. Leopard, is this how you talk to everyone? It doesn't match your gentle, lovely face at all. Fine, like you, I'm sometimes blinded by appearances. Oh, I don't think that's just an appearance. Rather, that's more like the nature of a mantis. The nature of a mantis? Leopard, you're such a sweet talker. You have the nerve to say it to my face. Tell me, who spread the rumors? The restraints put on stigma carriers and the reason for the Elysian realm to exist. They're all related to this, right? The restraints put on stigma carriers? Ah, let me guess. That black rat told you this. Don't answer a question with another question, Mobius. If I'm not mistaken, for the successors, the sole purpose of entering the trials is to come to you and to accept your gift of removing their restraints. Like Kevin, you who removed your own restraints should be the only person capable of it in the Elysian realm. If you're not mistaken. I hate to say this, but you are. What? Like Kevin, lifting the restraints? Laprat, you really know nothing about the past. To the flame chasers, that is no restraint, but an instinct carved into their genes the moment they became a mantis. Impossible. Sue had become a mantis before the first Institute incident, but he hadn't discovered it until then. But Kevin also said that the form isn't new to mantises. What in the world? You have to ask them about it. What I can tell you is ability and desire are not the same thing. Yeah. They probably could from the beginning change whenever they wanted to, but in the end they still clung and wanted to remain in their human, wanted to hold on to their humanity. I've heard about you from more than one flame chaser. Huh? Someone else spoke of me besides Eden and Sakura? Yeah, what you did left a strong impression on them. Hey, what's the big deal about it? I don't believe I'm the only one who's done this. From their reactions, you've perhaps the only one who's passed the trial but rejected the bounty at the final moment. I know you've been very cautious, but I don't suppose anything ordinary would make you run away instantly. Run away? Can you find something more appropriate, like retreat? If you wish. So, before you retreated, what did you see? To be honest, I didn't see anything. The best time to fall back is when your gut feeling tells you to. It's too late when it actually happens. But there must be something that triggered your instinct. Right? After all, you're not a real bird. Who knows? Have you read Grimm's fairy tales? Maybe I'm a wraven that can foresee the future. Alright, I was joking. The reason was probably that I felt something was amiss. Something was amiss? It was Mobius handing me the bounty, and she's someone you better steer clear of, even for a chat. Not to mention, in that particular situation. Yeah, she showed up out of nowhere and congratulated me on passing the trial of infinity. Then she took me to an era I never seen before. It was green and made me uncomfortable. She said she was going to baptize me for the last time, but something felt off when I entered that era. Yeah. Which was? For instance, a battle obvious occurred there. Call it a professional hunch. I'm sensitive to these matters. This is particular, removing the restraints. Why are you on the battlefield of all places? You know the true meaning of the Elysian realm since then? No, I found it out from Mobius on my way there. You know my stance on lifting the restraints. I was already planning a safe retreat at that time. It's not that simple, right? Yeah, I assumed someone like her had gotten used to being rejected a long time ago. You knew she'd flip without warning. She sensed something before I even spoke. I have to say, she's dangerous. I swear, all I did was blink, but she was gone. Gone? Yes, in a split second she was replaced by, What? Nothing. It's just that I couldn't find a word to describe that thing. It's too solid to be called a shadow and too sharp to be called a black liquid. And it was squirming like a living being. This sounds impossible, but this was what happened. Like a living shadow. And have you figured it out? Of course not. The only thing I know is that I must get as far away from that thing as possible and never look back. What a battle. Anyway, I'm glad I got lucky, or you could very well be seeing a different person. If I were you, I might have stayed behind and observed. This is why you're always in danger, Miss Raiden. I have a feeling that it was the Honkai beast, the snake version of Mobius. That would just that she stayed in the shadows. No hardware error found. No base logic error found. That's curious. Did I make a wrong judgment? The Elysian realm has stayed the same and there has never been any change? But how is this possible? Wait, the anomalies. They're possibly without modifying the software. But there's only one person who can do that. Just when Klein thought of this, a thick, slimy shadow came from behind and enveloped her. Though she was used to it, goosebumps did creep up her back and make her shiver. When the shadow fell on her, it felt like something tangible, cold and sticky. Of course it was you, Dr. Mobius. Only you knew the same way better than me, and only you can bypass the access control. Very well, Klein. Sounds reasonable. But if your purpose is to stop her from further exploration, this is meaningless. Even without my help, the Herrscher can get into the abnormal areas herself. Klein, did you forget what I taught you? Don't let your mind dwell on the surface. Think what's the nature of the anomalies. Nature? 3 types of portals: behavior mode, probe, shadow, environmental recognition block, and sentience modification. Dr. Mobius, do you plan to? Your research on the 8th Herrscher, has it succeeded? We know very soon after the experiment returns a result. But I remember you've given up on that research. Given up? Not wrong, just... The footsteps came nearer, drowning out Mobius' words. Huh? This time, Klein, try to accept yourself a bit more. During the experiment on Hua, if you worked now more every day, the result might have turned out to be more satisfactory. Dr. Mobius, the way you shift topic is just... And how can there be 24 hours in a day? I think that's not normal, 24 hours. 25 hours working in a 24 hours day. But it wouldn't be strange if Mobius found a way to change time. Do you have a minute, Klein? I made a wrong judgment myself. Your question, please. I do my best to answer it. Wrong judgment? That appearing before you would accelerate my work of restoring the realm. I appreciate your help, but my work efficiency has dropped as a result. Sorry, but only you can give an accurate answer to these questions. I try to make it short and not take too much of your time. If you're asking how to deal with excessive workload, sorry, I don't have any experience to share. I'm an elf and I don't store knowledge about taking care of the lumber or convertible explorer, because I have no need for it. That's not what I mean to ask. So what do you want to know? Mobius plan. Mobius seems to be very different from the Sims of the other flame chasers. In comparison, she's more interested. Maybe she's only interested in you. No, I don't think so. It's said that she's been planning something dangerous, but no one knows anything about it. She never asked you to assist her with it? No. She's always been this way. She won't tell me everything about the experiments, even if I offer to help. Wouldn't that easily lead to lab accidents? No, on the contrary. Me knowing too much would bring trouble to her. But as the maintainer, are you not at all bothered by what Mobius did in the realm? It might even have an impact on the existence of the realm itself. Of course I went to her for confirmation, but it turned out to be another experiment of hers. Even in the worst case scenario, the damages won't be irreversible, so I have no reason to get in her way. Experiment? Can you be more specific? To me, experiments are more or less puzzling. It's about sentience transfer. She had researched the eighth Herrscher for a long time, and this tech was the result. But with numerous limitations, the tech can hardly be applied in any particular way. Even she herself only used it to create Grey Serpent. Sentience transfer sounds like a mixture of dangerous possibilities. Maybe, but she has given up on the most dangerous one. Mobius immortal. Everyone here thinks Mobius can be killed, including herself. But to me, the presumption this is based on doesn't seem very convincing. Presumption? Yes, they believe it because Mobius can slough off unfavorable situations like a snake shedding its skin. But this ability likely has its limits. If she resurrects too often, she might be sent back to the origin of life and vanish forever. It's nothing. The side effect is real, but it doesn't keep her from growing. Growing? You're saying the side effects diminish with time? And for her, there is more than one path that leads to immortality. There are other ways? Yes, to achieve this, she did a lot of research and developed over 60 solutions, and that's just the part I know about. But I'm not sure how many of them are available. A researcher did fear staff. She isn't alone in this, but her results are remarkable. So, you also believe she's on the one of the flame chasers who survived? I've given my answer. In my opinion, the sim in here is the real her. And she does have fear, but death is never the source. Purpose of the listener. After running into an old friend, I learned my experience here was out of the ordinary. For visitors other than me, what are the criteria from completing the trial? Different people gave me very different answers. Since you're the maintainer of the Elysian realm, I suppose your answer is more reliable. Different answers from the flame chasers, are you sure? Win the approval of a flame chaser and acquire the full collection of their sticknets. That's the only way. The only way. This is the truth. Raven was indeed no exception. Which is to say, every visitor has lifted their restraints. Lifting restraints? What does that mean? From what I've learned, there'll be a bounty from the flame chasers for passing the trial, which grants the visitors the ability to undergo an active Honkai research, just like a mantis. Active Honkai region? That's impossible. The realm was built for passing on the legacy, but it's limited to the signets. An active Honkai reaction is only possible for mantises, and there are no such things as restraints. I've wasted too much time. I have to go. There's too much unfinished work. Wait, Klein. She's gone. So, they believe Mobius is immune to death, not just because of her mantis ability. What if that's true? Then where is the real Mobius now? Mobius bounty, experiments on sentience transfer, dangerous areas in the realm, and the mantis is taking a special form. There has to be some kind of connection, only I'm missing the key piece to the of the puzzle. The only thing I'm sure of is the sim of Mobius here has a different goal than she did when the realm was founded. Mobius, only you can give me all the answers. No, I can't simply throw questions at her without any preparation. Just like before, without solid evidence, she won't tell me anything. Well, there's only one way. Yeah, Mobius won't tell her anything without any evidence. And she's definitely hiding something. Let's find out what she's hiding. With the other me. Mobius, you're sure how to find. It's you who's been avoiding me, Herrscher Lady. You won't come closer, but you beg everyone for more of my stories. I have to assume you have a secret crush on me. But you don't have to be this way. I've been looking forward to doing some interesting stuff together. Can we have a normal conversation? I came here for business. It's fine. How does Elysian pull it off? Something wrong with my imitation? Hard to imagine you imitate someone you detest. Can you play me? People always put their guard up against me. I have to try something. If imitating her does benefit my experiments, I don't mind at all, for I take no pleasure in it. But it doesn't seem to work on you at all. Alright, Labrat, let's talk business. I believe you and I have one matter to discuss. Putting you on the operation table and studying what makes you a living Herrscher so special. Shall we try? Sure. Oh, alright, I knew you'd say no, so why are you here wasting my time? Wait, what did you say? I agree, Mobius. That's exactly the business I have in mind. It's been a while since I came to the Elysian realm. If what I've seen is everything it has to offer, I regret coming here at all. I think I'm now qualified for the final bounty. Mobius' pupil suddenly narrowed into two thin lines, reminding May of a hungry snake seizing up its prey. For someone who knows biologically, they realize a snake with such pupils is only active in the dark. Is that so? Did you not say it wasn't what you wanted? Yes, I did, but I'm ready to leave now. The data buried in the realm is too fragmented. Maybe it's a mistake from the very beginning to seek answers here. And before leaving, I think I should see the real purpose of this place with my own eyes. Are you really speaking your mind, Herrscher? You can of course think it's just a lie if you have enough evidence to prove it. I see. You're a quick learner of the way I speak. Alright, let's just suppose you're telling the truth. It doesn't matter to me anyway. But have you thought it through? The bounty is a way to remove the restraints, but no Herrscher ever walked this path. Which means it's an unpresentable experiment. I can't tell you what will happen. So what, Mobius? What's already known is of no use to us, is it? I'm beginning to like you more, cute lab rat. Well then, I grant you your wish. I go prepare the lab. It may take longer to make it harsh already. And to restore the sim to its best status, I have to take back all of my signets for now. Which is to say, you won't see me again until I entering my lab. Think you can do it? It might be hard, but I can assure you it'd be worth it. Because when it's over, I grant you a new lease on life. So we just reverse psychological. Yeah. I don't think that's Raiden's plan to leave, but just to push her into but to push Mobius into the trap. Stop. The path to Mobius lab seems to be open again. May, I'm worried. You didn't agree to something weird, did you? Yes, lady, it's been a long while. Did you miss me? Mobius. Oh, I thought you'd come sooner. The waiting was killing me. You can go first if your patience runs out. I won't mind. How could I? You're my best friend. I'd never leave you behind. Ah, I see. You made at me because I didn't give you a signet of infinity, right? It's alright, I get it. The signet is just as intriguing as me, right? I give it to you. Just like when we first met. What? Come, my lovely rabbit. Accept my signets, my blessings, my power, and come close to me. Accept everything from me. Lip poison. The total damage. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, we get all. Not all. Okay. And the next one. And the next one. Island B. Core Infinite X. Newborn X. Unknown X. And dead X. So now we have all signets that we can re-get. And now we enter the lab. Oh. Yeah. Is this the place Raven mentioned before? Ah, sweet lady, we're back here again. Do you still remember where we first met? Mobius, don't you wish to experiment on me? But I'm not seeing any operation table here. Operation table? No, the experiment I have in mind isn't that simple. I knew the bounty was a lie. A lie? Sweet lady, have you ever been honest with me? You never planned to leave the Elysian realm. You threw yourself headfirst into danger just to figure out my real purpose. Since neither of us is honest with each other, let's just let it slide. Do you remember what I said to you when we first met? Sweet lady, can you take me out of this place? Forbid, Mobius. You're the owner of this place, and you don't need me to. Wait, you want to leave the Elysian realm? You finally got it. That's impossible. You're just, The word Sim stopped at May's lips. She suddenly realized what the missing link she had been searching for was. Everything she thought she had found herself was fed to her by Mobius on purpose. Mobius had been leading her on all along with smoke and mirrors, luring her to an elaborate trap. Mobius' plan had worked. Her eerie laughter penetrated May's skin and seeped into her nerves. The attempt you made on Grey Serpent, the tech you thought was able to save Klein. It's sentence transfer, right? Yes, sweet lady, I've been waiting for you to say it out loud. But it might be too late for you to have regrets now. A living Herrscher, a perfect body, the most precious gift I've ever received. After leaving the Elysian realm, maybe I should visit Kevin and thank him properly. So this is your plan. I should have known earlier. Handing me all the signets of infinity was not to help me, rather it was to adapt my body to your sentence, right? How clever, Lapad. Under different circumstances you might have become my best student. Sorry, Mobius, if this is your plan, I have to say you found the wrong person. Fighting another sentence for body control, I have plenty of experience with that. Fighting? Sweet lady, what are you talking about? I'm not interested in sharing the body. The experiment will be over soon, and there'll be only one soul who will walk out of here. You better hurry and say goodbye to your sentence, to Raiden May. It's you who should say goodbye, Mobius. Drop your disguise and let me see your real face. Oh, you know about that? What a curious kid. Still trying to learn more secrets before your last breath? Well, as you wish, behold, the real Mantis. Ah, you seem shocked. It's only been a few seconds and you don't recognize me, sweet lady? No, I know why Raven rejected your bounty right away. Raven? The little girl fled in fear even before witnessing the true beauty of life. Ah, what a shame. The door was open for her to evolve and transform into something beautiful. I wonder if she's still regretting it now. You have to ask her yourself. You seem calm again. Impressive. So this is an active Honkai reaction, the true Mantis form. It's surprising, but nothing more. Nothing more? You do have a good sense of humor, Herrscher lady. You don't think you still have a chance, do you? You think you can accomplish what it took 3 flame chasers to do? I won't know until I try. Very well. I like your attitude. Do you know which kind of test subjects have the best survival rates? Not the kind with hopes and wishes for tomorrow. Those who are already buried in despair are most likely to survive. In other words, reality usually works against your wishes. Right back at you, Mobius. Then let's find out if it's going to be Raiden May or Mobius that walks out today. It will be Raiden May. The Herrschers of this era are a lot tougher than the ones from previous era. And now we can attack again. Stop, Doctor. This isn't you. This isn't a choice Mobius would make. Klein, how did you... No time to explain. I'm not the same as you. My capabilities are limited. I will help interfere with Doctor's puppet. If I still can't block her, think of a way to get out of here. Yes. Just it back on her. He can't fight back anymore. And directly into the next step. It's just an endurance fight. It ended. It's over, Dr. Mobius. No, maybe I should stop calling you this. Fine. Why? You should be able to understand me. You knew what I sought to accomplish 50,000 years ago. You never objected. Why would you get in my way now? Because the real Dr. Mobius had given it up already when she told me about the plan. The real Mobius? What do you mean, Klein? I am the real Mobius. That's what I had always believed. There's no difference between you and her, for her arts, behaviors and personality. Just like she once saw me as the continuation of Klein, he had regarded you as the real Dr. Mobius. But now, enough. So in your eyes, Klein, I'm someone who rejects change? No, that's not how I think. But what you did today was something Dr. Mobius would never do. She had gone through many changes, but there's a part of her that always remained. And that's the critical difference between you two. Critical difference? What a joke. I know, I can't convince you myself. But fortunately, Dr. Mobius had a sound plan prepared for this. What? She left something and told me to give it to you, but I never did. To me, passing on a message from Mobius to Mobius seemed pointless. Until now. She left something for me? What trick are you trying to play, Therin? I've never been a sentimental one. This pointless formalism doesn't sound like me.
私がするようなことじゃないのは分かってる。けど、あなたに何かを伝えるチャンスはこれが最後なの。何と呼べばいいのかしら。メビウス、それともう一人の私。
What is it, Klein? You like the old me more, don't you? This hologram recording is what she asked me to show you. She recorded this before her death. Death? Klein, do you have any idea what you're talking about? For me, death is impossible. Yeah, even I myself find it hard to believe I'm going to face death. Is it live communication? Klein shook her head. Klein, if you wish to deceive me, you should have played smarter. I remember everything that happened, when I still looked like that. Back then, even the Elysian realm didn't exist yet, so how could I have left a message for myself? Because it's interesting, isn't it? Reviewing your past as an outsider, this doesn't happen every day. You should thank me, the other me. If it's me, the words of the night should have been uttered in full by now. Of course, by the time you see this, you might have changed a lot and even become talkative. But anyway, this is the last time. Be patient and just allow me to finish what I got to say. Alright? I finally have this last chance, but I find myself lost of words. You know what? I made this decision long ago. The final Herrscher's coming is just an excuse. Ridiculous. I know, this sounds ridiculous, right? In the eyes of many, Mobius is immortal, a monster that has broken the cycle of life and death. But you know that we fear death more than anyone. We fear it because we fear the unknown. Do we die when we get killed? No, we can be resurrected. Just enduring a bit of pain, just growing smaller, just shedding an old skin. When I first became a mantis, I did think it was a terrible thing at all. On the contrary, the power brought me great joy. It gave me an endless life to explore, every possibility of evolution. Until I turned out this way. That was when I finally realized resurrection doesn't equal infinite life. I still might die, a real death, but when would that be? After dying 10 times or 100 times? When I didn't generate to infancy, or to an embryo, or to a single cell? I don't know, I know nothing. But I remember, when the fear of the unknown grabbed me by my throat for the first time, I was overwhelmed. That prompted me to find a way to true immortality, something that would always keep me one step ahead of death. Enough. But what's the point of that? I still remember that morning, when the experiment failed again and Nuva was lying on the floor, too tired to stand up. She asked me, Dr. Mobius, what's the purpose of immortality? I searched my mind, but couldn't come up with a convincing answer. Yeah, what is it for? Humans are meant to die, right? Then what's the point of my obsession? That's the first time I doubted myself. Foolish. Sounds foolish, right? But that's not all of it. Never had it come to mind that it would be Alicia's death that brought me clarity. I used to hate her the most. Her death made me understand something. People driven by fear and fumbling toward in the dark, I didn't realize I was one of them, when I laughed at them. Up till the end, I didn't wake up to the fact that I was a loser too. And that time I finally heard the other voice in my heart. It told me that was the only constant. You surely understand that, right? In the past, last thoughts was never in my vocabulary. Of course, if I so desired, the final Herrscher wouldn't have been able to totally destroy me. Not very convincing, right? I now look like someone ready to fall at any second. But you're another me, and I don't have to explain myself to you. Even if the civilization dies and the ground beneath our feet crumbles, resurrection is always possible for me. It's just that now I'm tired of it. For Mobius, this is it. What you finally realized you've said nothing but rubbish? I don't know. These words just came to me naturally. Maybe because I can feel my destiny. But this is the message I wish to leave to you, Mobius. Before my eyes, infinite possibilities are retracting into a single endpoint. The descent of the final Herrscher will very soon turn the world we know into a boundless desert. Not that I care, but still, I feel an urge to say this before it happens. Grey Serpent or Klein, they've heard this, and I believe they've understood it. But when it comes to you, the other me, I'm not so sure. The two of us are looking at two different pictures. For you, the path of infinity still extends into the horizon. No one can get in your way or make decisions for you, not even me, your creator. Enough. You're still Mobius after all. But should you choose the path of Mobius, the path of becoming me, that's still a choice made by you among infinite possibilities. Anyway, your fee. Dr. Mobius, the hibernation pod has been being activated. Please come over now. Alright, I'm coming. Looks like it's still too early to call myself a total loser yet. Infinite possibilities. They've evaded me ever since I discovered my mistakes. But I created them myself, didn't I? For Grey Serpent, Klein, and you. Infinity is all the possible choices you can make. I'm not sure when you'll be able to see this, thousands of years from now, or even longer. Everything I've ever known should have turned to ashes long ago. But for you, it has just started. You're my best creation and my proudest work. You realized my lifelong pursuit the moment you were born. Mobius, the other me in this world. Say goodbye to me, alright? Follow your path and become you? What a joke. If you were truly me, I have to say I'm deeply disappointed. Infinite choices? That sounds pathetic. What I'm going to do is to go beyond infinity and all the possibilities out there. Your path is just one tiny branch among millions. You. What's that look like? You think I'm boasting? Do you really think she chose death voluntarily? What are you saying? So you did fail to realize that. Try to remember, Klein. When was the last time she went into the Elysian realm to sync her memory? Right after Elysia. You. You're my favorite assistant for a reason. Yes, during the sync I took advantage of the moment to plant a little seed in her memory. Thank you, Klein. Now I finally know it has sprouted and borne fruit. Why? Because I don't need to become the second Mobius. I will, no I have, make myself the one and only Mobius. Klein, my favorite assistant, will you still attempt to stop me? Looks like I can finally put an end to this cheesy drama. Klein, you know why I watched it patiently? Huh? Snakes never let go of their prey. Waiting is their fault, and now is no exception. The data of this area is disappearing. You've been trying to delete this area just now. That's right, Klein. There's still a lot you need to learn from me. But relax, no substantial harm will come to you, save some minor data loss. You might experience something like amnesia, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because I doubt it would be a pleasant memory for you to witness your new Herrscher friend perish in despair. Sorry, Herrscher lady. Sorry you have to put up with such fuss. And I thought I was an outsider all along. That's not true. You've always been my favorite lab rat. But in my lab, any lab rat that bites should be punished. Well then, goodbye, Herrscher lady. What I've not been able to finish will resume tomorrow. That is, of course, if you manage to walk out of here alive. Mobius. Wait, that subject, don't chase her. The area is gone, and so is Dr. Mobius. We still haven't time. I'm looking for a way to help you get out. Damn it, this portal was shut down by Dr. Mobius too. Klein, I remember you have a habit of evaluating the situation using probabilities. So what are the odds of us getting out alive now? 0. Thanks for cheering me up. Cheering you up? Against all odds, you're still trying to find a way out. I'm beginning to understand what Kevin meant. I believe in myself and you rather than the numbers. May closed her eyes. The next moment, a bolt of raging lightning shot out from her and lit up the darkness. It worked in the theater of domination, so it should work in here too. Are you unleashing your Herrscher power? This is a space constructed by memories. It won't work. Impossible. Oh, it's her. Your power drew her attention. Never mind. Let's get out of here before it's too late. Well, Dr. Mobius definitely had a plan, even if it's a very extreme one. Triple deceiving. It's not happening, Mobius. Someone we both interested in won't fall for your trap this easily. Elysia, put a lid on your conceit. Ah, right. You've always been trying to get me in a pink dress, no? I'm in a good mood today. If she can somehow walk out of the realm alive, I include you for once. You can put on the dress now. What? Finally back. What did I say, Mobius? My pure intentions have always been unstoppable. That's impossible. How can you two come back alive? Who knows? Maybe it's just dumb luck. Dumb luck? Are you kidding me? Was it you, Elysia? Mobius, don't go yet. Mobius! Oh, she left, just like that. Pink dresses must be number 1 on her hate list. That's the only explanation. But her soiled look is surprisingly cute. She looked just like an adorable little pufferfish. What do you think, May? You knew Mobius' true intention all along, right? Oh, May, what makes you think that way? I have stepped in much earlier had I known. Did you hear everything Mobius and I said? She only told me about it after being certain she would leave the Elysian realm. She could leave the... it's like when your cat messes up your curtains and proudly walks over to you. I'm glad she didn't hear this. I wouldn't say this if she was still around. Maybe it would be the snake instead of the cat if I said it to her face. Who knows? Alright, May, drop your serious face. The fight is over. You defeated yet another flame chaser, and that's something no one could even imagine before. Besides, she was that serious when fighting you. You saw how she looked, right? Yeah. So May, can you afford to be more proud of yourself and cheer up? You can even jump up and down to celebrate. Or maybe you're waiting for me to give you a big hug or something? I can do that if you want. No need. Nothing to celebrate. I didn't come here to fight flame chasers. I came to look for the truth, and that has never changed. But recently I came to realize there were more flame chasers with hidden agendas like Mobius here. Take you for example. Elysia, I'm still not sure what your drawn arrow is aiming at. Me? Just like you, I've always remained the same. Quietly appreciating the changes you have brought to the Elysian realm as a bystander. That's all I hope for. And with that, we have finished chapter 2. The other me. And in the next episode, we will begin with May time hold for this moment and May tomorrow. But yeah, with that I would say that was it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, I would be happy about a like, a sub and a comment. And I hope I see you all in the next video. Goodbye.